Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Sit right down, relax. I have an interesting, inspiring, motivational, beautiful guest for you today. Let me tell you what I'm doing on this show. We are all dreamers. We dream of writing a book, acting in a movie, getting a record label. My dream, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an author. I'm all kinds of things, and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I'm working on it. That's why I invite guests to my show who will share their secrets, their journey, and their challenges. How did they do it? What are they doing now to maintain that success? My guest today is incredible. She is a doctor of divinity. She is founder and TV host of Good Morning LaLa Land and Soulciété International. She's a best-selling author. She's global speaker. She's a podcaster. She's a mother. Let me tell you, straight from Hollywood, I have Dr. Erin. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show.
Nadia, it's a pleasure to be here with you. You're an amazing woman, and I'm just honored to be in your presence. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Well, Dr. Erin, your resume is incredible. Your resume, your curriculum vitae, you are amazing. Mm-hmm. Tell us what your inspiration was and what age did this begin?
Oh, thank you for asking. You know, I think I was one of those little girls. I never understood anything, Nadia. I remember being a little girl and asking my mom, what's the meaning of life? And she kind of looked at me like, why would you ever ask that question? And she goes, why aren't you just out playing with your friends? You know, she said, I came home from school the first day of kindergarten when I walked in the front door and I said, Mom, how old do you have to be to quit school? You know, none of this added up to me. So I think I was just born this way, very curious and quite frankly, very discontent. And so I just was born a seeker. And then life happened. I grew up in a hippie commune in the hills of Santa Barbara, and none of it made sense. None of the adults made sense to me. And then I went, off to high school and all the insanity and people trying drugs and alcohol and beginning to sleep together. And none of it made sense to me whatsoever. And I had an eating disorder from the time I was 17 to 20. And then I, thought, well, if I just get married, then all of my problems will be solved. And I got married to somebody I didn't know at all, and I was still miserable before we had a stillborn. So what really happened was it was a low. It was a low that had me basically tell myself, I don't care what I do in this lifetime. I've got to figure out what the meaning of life is, why we're here, and what the hell is this all about. And so for me, it was never about getting some credentials or having a resume or doing any of that. For me, it was strictly because I was so sad inside and I needed to figure it out.
I was sad inside at a young age, and I never thought of being a doctor of divinity. Well, I didn't even know about anything like that. I grew up very naive, and
I didn't know what it was either. I had no idea. It wasn't until way down. It was years, and I didn't even know any of this existed. Who did? No one would. Right.
That's true. I didn't have mentors. I mean, today everyone is so fortunate to have someone like you that could be a mentor and learn from, because when I was growing up, I had no one. It was just me and God, and it was a tough road. But I'm so glad that there's people like you that someone can reach out to, because the world needs it, I think, more now than when I was growing up, or maybe we're just aware of it because of internet.
Right. The World Wide Web has really opened our eyes all up to all the insanity and the glorious things and all the above, right?
Yes,
magnified
exactly.
Everything.
Oh, doesn't
Heaven
it?
and hell is more intense now.
Oh, my goodness, yes. So you live in Los Angeles right now. You created, and you're the TV host of Good Morning LaLa Land. You're America's first live streaming daily talk show focusing on good news, inspiration, and positivity. You have over 120 million impressions and 3,000 guests plus. You've been featured on NBC, ABC, Fox, Fortune, HBO, CBS, MTV, Huffington Post, New York Times, LA Times, Forbes, Entrepreneur, Emmys, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Food Network, TLC, and E. Oh my goodness, you're on everything.
Our guests have been amazing, that's for sure. And we're very fortunate. I think we've had 3,500 guests on now. And I mean, it's insane what we do every single day. We have 4 to 8 guests every day on the show, 5 days a week. And it's been such a blessing, Nadia, because we really get to see the divinity in each person. Is really what, at first I was like, why do we have, a reality star versus a, author versus whatever? And the common denominator has been, we ask the question for every guest, how do you start your day? And majority of all the guests have some type of a practice, something to get their mind right. And the other common denominator is that they all have overcome hardship and all have had to persevere for, coming to the success. And so I think the point is that within each and every one, there is a common denominator, and it's the human spirit. It's spirit, the perseverance that we all have.
I agree. And Dr. Erin, you are remarkable. You're a doctor of divinity. You're a new thought minister. You're an international best-selling author. You're a self-made millionaire. Transformational speaker, awarded as Global Peace Leader in 2016, and you're a mother. Forbes featured you as the 11 most inspirational female entrepreneurs to follow on Instagram. How did you've written a book called Awakening. It's a 40-day guide to unleashing your spiritual powers, life's purpose, and manifesting your dreams. Tell us about that book, please.
Oh gosh, the book, I never intended to write a book. Nadia, I was terrible in English growing up. If I can write a book, anybody can write a book. It was really challenging. The book actually came out of my own healing process. And what happened is over the years of going into deep meditations and going into subconscious processing and reading every book under the sun and going to all the seminars, I would take a journal and I would write down kind of the epiphanies that I would have about life. And then as I became a spiritual practitioner and a minister in Dr. Divinity, I began to write down all the distinctions. And so here I thought, well, here's all these epiphanies I've had about how we are spirit and how metaphysics works and how, these shifts in my consciousness. And here are all these terms that I've learned that are so profound that the whole world needs to know. And so I basically took I had created a blog and I had created all these different things. I thought this should be a book. So then I had to redo the whole thing 5 times and get it into a succinct 4 steps to awakening, which is really, the first step is really waking up to really seeing how you really have already created the good, the bad, all the serendipitous and the zenblanity of your life, the negative creative circumstances of your life as well. The second step is to basically reprogram. The subconscious work was one of the most profound work that I did in all my awakening. The third step is to align with your own personal truth and align with universal law. And then the fourth step is to affirm every day with really setting your intention, having your daily spiritual practice, and aligning with what you want to embody in your mindset and your skill set. So these are the 4 steps. Really what I had learned over the course of 22 years of doing the work and what I realized what works, and these are what the core principles were.
I went through the same process when I was writing my memoir. It took 5 different books, 5 different thoughts to finally put it all into one book.
I think everybody should write a book. I mean, if you don't have it in you, but they say that something like, 80% of people desire to write a book. And I really feel that a book is a magical thing because it helps you tell your story, which is really a beautiful thing when you do have triumph over your story. It's a big blessing to tell your story, and it helps you get clear of what really matters to you in life and your distinctions of what you're here as your voice in this world. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think books write us. We don't write books.
Yes, absolutely. Isn't it amazing how when you start writing your thoughts and your hand just keeps on going or typing and your thoughts just flow? It's like it doesn't stop flowing and it just once you start, it just flows right out of you. I love it. Yes, I remember that. And I can't wait. I want to get your book, 40-Day Guide, which is perfect. I looked it up and everything, and I'm going to order it. I love positive.
I'll send you one.
Oh, you're so sweet. Make sure you sign it, though. I want it inscribed by you.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that for me anyway, it's the truth, and this work has given me my life. I went from a very kind of sad inside young woman that was completely lost and had no answers to anything to now someone who I really am. I'm just, when you are the woman that you've always desired to be, that you're the mother that you've always desired to be, and you really do own truth, and you know who you are, and you're empowered, and you're able to impact, hundreds of thousands of lives. This is all because of truth. It's because if I truly believe that anybody, if they really seek these answers, they will have a major transformation and really re-embody the truth of who they are. So it's just I have to give it away, because the law of the universe is whatever you want, you've got to give. And so I give it because out of selfishness, because I want more of the truth because it's so yummy.
You know what? You're right. Truth. We have to live in our truth. Our truth is so important. And I read that about you. Dr. Erin, you mentor. You have a website. I looked at your website. It's great. And you're the CEO and founder of Soulciété. I love that. How did you come up with that? That is so clever.
It's such a great, it's been divinely guided. It was kind of beyond me. It kind of fell in my lap. And it's been such a blessing to build a community. And then also part of it is ambassadors, which we certify a 300-hour in developing spiritual leaders. And there's nothing more fulfilling other than my own, raising my own son, is developing, some of the gals in embodying this work, and they get trained in birthing people's truth, because there's ultimate truth and there's relative truth. And we birth both of those. We birth their true power, really going through their trauma, releasing their commands that happen in traumatic incidences, shifting them back to their true identity. And then they birth their passion, their true passion, which is really what are their core values and who do they really want to be, and putting boundaries and really creating from a place of power instead of being the effect of life. And then thirdly, we birth their purpose. And that's down to the suffering of this lifetime and past lifetimes, so they can really birth their purpose and calling and leave the legacy that they want to in this life. So it's just this beautiful, beautiful program that they do for themselves. And then they're able to take on clients and build their own, work out of the core work. So it's just such an honor. It really is.
Wow, it's beautiful. We're going to take a short break, so don't go away. We'll be right back, Dr. Erin.
Get locked into the Nadia Sahari Show and achieve your dreams today. Listen in at the NadiaSahariShow.com. Listen to some amazing people just like you find their way in life with great uplifting stories, problems they dealt with, and get to understand what makes them tick. It's the Nadia Sahari Show. Great interviews, touching feelings. Whatever talk you need, you're sure to find it right here at the Nadia Sahari Show. Grab it, do it, love it, and get excited today.
And we're back with Dr. Erin. What a woman. You are young and beautiful. You're smart, and you've got it together. You've got it together because you are living your truth. You are living your destiny. And I think that is so wonderful. Who are the people in your life that may have been the most influential to you to get you to this point?
Thank you for asking that. Number one, I have to say Source. I mean, the number one teacher, of course, is Source, which is divine, which is our higher self, for sure. Number one, God, you can say whatever you want to call. I have worked with a handful of people, some that are no names. They really are you would never know who they are, but I have worked with a couple people that have transitioned that were great spiritual masters, and they taught me all about metaphysics and helped me do my own subconscious work and help birth my own personal truth. the truth triangle that I teach is something that I specifically came up with, but a lot of the processes are or Socrates method and Greek oracle processes and things like that. Other than that, I trained with a minister called, his name is James Mellon. He's wonderful. He has a center called Global Truth Center, and he trained with Centers for Spiritual Living, and I got my doctorate through Emerson. So, there's been many people. I think that I've learned more from relative teachers than I have from even spiritual teachers, meaning that the people in my life that were some of the most dysfunctional were great teachers for me.
Yes.
They taught me kind of all kinds of things of what I don't want and the relative experience of life, which really taught me truth. So I think that every single person that comes into my life is both a student and a teacher. And at whatever level, we're able to add and grow from each other's consciousness. So my son's been one of my greatest teachers because he teaches me unconditional love. He teaches me, just the reflection of my own legacy, and wanting and desiring to be the best person I can be.
Beautifully said. You also mentor soul entrepreneurs, and that's SOUL entrepreneurs, one-on-one. You teach also group settings. You transform their personal and professional lives via subconscious processes and masterminds. And you said that you believe that when someone awakens, they naturally have a gift and message to bring to the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, I truly believe that. I work with celebrities as well and big influencers. I rarely do any one-on-ones anymore unless it is on stage or training women in groups or celebrities or influencers I work with a little bit. But it's been fascinating to watch how I truly believe everybody has a gift and message to bring to the world. They have a gift. Mm-hmm. And when they awaken, our mission is to awaken 1 billion people. And really how I am fulfilling and plan on fulfilling that is by developing spiritual leaders because, they're going to go out and touch however many, whether it be, hundreds or thousands or millions of lives. And so I think we'll touch more than 1 billion people.
There is something about life experience. And it's hard, I believe, I may be wrong, but I think it's very hard for someone to mentor someone unless they've had the life experience of that situation that the individual is going through. And I know that I was going to therapy at one time to someone that was younger who did not experience anything at all in life. And I thought, how is she going to help me? And I had to stop because I knew a little more about life and I knew what to do with my life. I just needed some guidance and I needed a little bit of aid, mental aid. But it was difficult, so I had to quit.
Yeah, well, we teach, your purpose and calling is a very specific formula.
Yes.
And part of that formula is what you've had triumph over.
Yes.
Plus your passion, plus your skill set.
Yes.
So if somebody hasn't gone through it, it's like learning how to be a millionaire from somebody that was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. It really doesn't, or someone who is preaching about, being fit and they've just never had an issue with weight or with any kind of health issues. But so we naturally want to learn from people that have gone through, some hardship because they've gone through it, so they know what it's like.
Yes.
And I think it's natural to want to learn from a teacher that's gone through whatever it is that they've gone through. And, I've gone through everything from eating disorder to codependency to not having it. I had no money when my son was born. I would go to the thrift store for his clothes, and then you become a self-made millionaire. I've gone through being completely not wanting to live to being a completely empowered woman, right? So I feel blessed in that all those hard things that I thought were the worst things I ever went through are great blessings because it means that I'm ready to be a teacher in that area of my life. So,
you're right.
I think that the hardest things we ever go through are really the biggest blessings.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm with you. I had the similar situation. And I went through where I was homeless at 21 with 2 babies and no food and no money and nobody to go to.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and I understand what you went through. I understand where you came from because I've been there and I made it and I became successful. I became the self-made millionaire. I did it at 25 years old. I mean,
wow.
It's 4 years after being homeless.
No way. That's
Honestly.
an amazing story. How did you do that?
I became a professional belly dancer. I was a headliner, and I performed at dinner clubs, and I opened a dance studio, and I taught over 2,000 women and young girls how to belly dance.
Wow.
And
amazing.
Oh, I have so many stories. You would be shocked. It would shock. I wrote a book.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been through, and I lost it all, and I got it back again. I mean, I've done stuff in life, credible stuff, nothing illegal, nothing to be ashamed of. Everything I did was hard work, and I made my millions that way. Nobody gave me a penny. Nobody.
Nope.
Nobody.
Good for you. I think everyone should experience that and know they can make money because you can't rely on somebody else.
You cannot.
You never know what's going to happen.
You cannot. And I read a lot of positive thinking books, and one of them was Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And
so great.
Yes, and that helped me so much. And then I read books that told you how to get rich. And I was inspired, like Zig Ziglar. And I went through hell and back, and I still have been through hell and back several times. So, but I keep on rising like a phoenix, just like you.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have
Gotta
to.
Just keep going.
That's right. We have to. There are moments in life, and this is something that you've said, and I love this. There are moments in life when something happens, life alters, and your entire perception transforms instantaneously. And for you, it was 22 years ago when you were holding your baby stillborn. And only someone who's been there would know how you felt. You are amazing. You're remarkable. And what you have done with your life, you're a beautiful human being. You're beautiful. You're smart. And look what you've done. And you're a doctor of divinity on top of that. That is
it's pretty cool when you like yourself, you know, when you're really doing your dharma and leaving your legacy. Isn't it cool? I mean, because really it's not so much about, for me, it's not about like some status or getting whatever. It's just that it's like you're just proud of yourself and you're in your own skin.
Yes.
And, you know, once you write your first book or once you get that first, you know, whatever, launch your first, you know, thing that's successful or, you know, get the show or whatever, you think everything's going to be some magic thing where all the fireworks go off, and they last for about 2 minutes, and then you go, okay, now what?
Right.
You know, and when you're there, you know, and I'm not looking for the future anymore. I don't have to live for someday or something to happen. You're here, your life is successful, and you're living with purpose and impacting in a beautiful way. And you're really I can look in the mirror and just go, you know, like you gave it your all. I'm giving it my all. Yes. And that's really all we can do is, I can't wait to be on my deathbed to, you know, wait for something to happen. You know, like this is it. This is life. It's not dress rehearsal. And it's so cool when you found your truth, you're living your truth. And every day is just the expression of this authentic, whatever it is that you want to give back to this life. And it's so fulfilling. If anyone's out there listening, don't wait a minute longer. Just do it for you. The greatest regret people have on their deathbed is that they didn't live for themselves.
Yes, amen. Let's segue into that. I have listeners who have a dream to be an author, to be a founder of a TV show, or to be on TV, or to be an actress, or to be whatever there is in this world that they have passion for. We all are dreamers. We all have a dream. What would you say to the listener who wants to be like you and have what you're doing, do what you're doing? What would you say? What advice?
This is what I'm going to say. This is exactly what I want to say. I want to speak specifically to anyone who thinks they're too old, I need you to know that we need you. That there is half the population in America is over 50. And we need for people to witness people doing and fulfilling their dreams at any age. I don't care if you're 90. I don't care if you're 45. I don't care if you're 35 and you think you're too old. Whatever that is, we need to see you. And it's not about you. It's about all of us. And it's important for people to recognize that at any age you can become a great author. At any age you can start a show. At any age you can start your entrepreneurship. At any age you can go on that trip that you've always wanted to go on. At any age you can fall in love. At any age, switch your health around. Whatever that is, it's you deserve to do it for yourself, and it is a responsibility. It's a responsibility for all of us.
Well said. What a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. That is so true. You are so right. And we all, and you're right, it doesn't matter how old you are. And if you have that passion, who cares? Do it. It's your life. It's your dream. And don't worry about what anyone says.
And it's easier to do it as you get older anyway. If you had kids, they're grown.
Yes.
If you get older, you get lonely. People aren't doing as much stuff. You have more time than ever.
Oh, yes.
So why not put it towards a passion that you like? They say it's 10,000 hours to master something. Well, if you have no life and you're lonely and you're depressed, hand it over to this work, and you'll get your 10,000 hours in no time.
I love it. I love it. That is so true. That is so true. I started acting 10 years ago, but I'll tell you what, I don't want to be famous anyway. I just want to live my dream. And that's not the only dream I have. I have more. I have a lot of dreams.
Think about it. If you get into acting at, say someone's out there and they get into acting at 50 years old, you actually have probably better odds of actually becoming successful if you put your 10,000 hours in than the person that starts at 20 and puts their 10,000 hours in, because they have a lot more competition.
Yes, they do.
So
they
you
do.
actually, you probably have better odds, and you're going to be more stabilized than someone doing it that's 30 years younger than you.
Yes, absolutely right.
It's never too late.
You're absolutely correct. Hollywood is full of 18-year-olds trying to be actors, and
that's right.
And it's very tough, very tough. Most of them are waitresses and waiters and bartenders, and they are struggling, and they don't have the money. They're struggling, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And well, you know what? And I just love talking to someone like you, and I hope that you and I will talk some more and more, because I would love to talk to you and glean from you, and I would just love to, because I think that I can learn a lot from you, and I love learning, so I love learning.
Me too. I'm sure I can learn from you a lot as well. Thank you so much. You're such an amazing light. Thank you for all the work,
Well, thank you.
We do this, whether we touch one person's lives or a million lives or a billion lives. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we're expressed in giving what matters to us. And that's right. what matters. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Now, where can the listeners get your book and connect with you?
Thank you. You can find me across all social media on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, all that. I'm Dr. Erin, which is DRERIN.TV is my handle on most all social media. And then you can also, it's the same website, drerin.tv, which defaults to Soulciété, which is the community. You can also find me at Good Morning LaLa across social media, and the website Good Morning LaLa and Erin Fall Haskell. The book is on Amazon and other platforms, but if you look up Awakening under Erin Fall Haskell, you can find it. It's also under my website, so you can find it pretty much all over.
I want to tell you that I listened to your podcast today, and when I saw the link, I went to it on Apple, on iTunes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, and I didn't even know you had a podcast.
My podcast is a very different podcast. Actually, I'll be doing longer interviews, but I did a different podcast. I do like an 11 to 20-minute podcast where I actually teach something, and actually it's been very well received. About a third of my ambassadors all found me randomly on my podcast. So it's a very different podcast. And I've really enjoyed doing that. And then I have an app with 40 guided meditations, also Dr. Erin app. And just engage, reach out. You can DM me. You can email me at erin@erinfallhaskell.com. And, it's all about engagement and however I can serve. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much for being on my show. I so appreciate it. And I know the listeners are going to enjoy this and love it. And you are incredible. Keep doing what you're doing because we need people like you.
Thank you so much, sweetheart.
You're welcome. Thank you. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Erin, for being on my show. Thank you, Dr. Erin. And I love having a guest like her because we learn so much. We all need to learn something from each other, and we all have something to offer from each other. We all can learn something. We do not know everything. It's wonderful to have someone on my show like Dr. Erin because she has studied, she has experience. No one was born knowing it all. Thank you, listeners, for listening to my show. Share it, enjoy it, learn from it. Remember, motivation, inspiration, and education. That's what my show is about. So spread the news and be happy and be passionate about your dream. Are you living your dream?
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.
Latin Connection magazine is a family magazine featuring people of influence, cultural events, and traditions, recipes and photos of Latin food, Hispanics in business. Plus, get news on Latin festivals, Latin entertainment, and Latinos in the fashion industry, and see photos of Latinos in action all over the U.S. Conoce tu vecino y mucho más. We invite you to share your special event with us at LatinConnectionMag.com. Latin Connection Magazine. Conexión Latina y mucho más. Latin Connection Magazine. It's for anyone and everyone to enjoy, no matter who you are.